Still gotta drive home.
He can just stay, he can stay as our guest downstairs.
I gotta be on the inside. Come over and look at that. Right outside the door.
You know, we did it to an officer one time in Willowbrook. Remember Skiba? Put him in the cell. Oh, was he pissed?
I got the flu shot in and my doctor told me, so you
We
don't get
send the
worse.
movers was in our phones.
Tight on the door there.
Bill Whiteside, what he said.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I hope you feel better.
I'd like to call our city council meeting to order and ask everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Is our cameraman on? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just realized I had all those voice coverage. Oh, shoot, I could have invited them up to lead. Okay. The roll, please.
Belkey.
Here.
Belzak.
Here.
Clistic. Here. Kenny.
Here.
Marquez.
Here.
McIver. Here. Shower.
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. Does anyone in the audience want to address the city council on any subject matter? It does not have to be an item that's on the agenda this evening. Then let's move on to the approval of the minutes of February 1st, 2016. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Shower. Any additions or deletions in the minutes? Then the roll, please.
Kenny.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
McIver.
Abstain.
Belkey.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 abstention.
The minutes have been approved. I'd like, the next item on the agenda is receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications to share? Could you turn down that radio, please? Okay. Thank you. It's a little distracting. Go ahead, Alderman Belkey.
Yes, I received a follow-up call from a resident at the 100th block of Holly, and he is following the private stormwater assistance policy. He's here in the audience with us tonight, and he has had several conversations with myself and Dan over the period of months, and he would like to encourage the council to approve this expansion to this program and approve it in the upcoming budget. He said this is a great opportunity for residents to make improvements to their properties and enhance the values throughout the city. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Any other communications to share? Well, then I'd like to share some communication here. We continue to get contacts from organizations regarding gaming. Hasn't stopped. With the latest one is an organization called Lucky Bernie's. And I think you know where I stand. I absolutely do not support any more additions of gaming in the city of Darien. So I want to know that you feel the same way I do. If we were to, we don't have any liquor, number one, we don't have any liquor licenses to give. And that would be the trigger. If we did, that would allow someone to have a gaming license. So I hope that you feel the same way I do. That you don't want, we are in union on the fact that we don't want any more gaming facilities in the city of Darien. The only way we would even consider it, and I'd like to hear from you about this too, is that if someone were to approach us with the concept, we would want them to sign an agreement that they would never pursue a gaming license for the state of Illinois. Your thoughts?
So, Madam Mayor, you're looking at the possibility of, let's say, a restaurant wanting to come into Darien, which would necessitate possibly a liquor license, and you're looking at separating that from the idea of gaming.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I know we've talked a lot about the possibility of having a nice restaurant somewhere, besides the ones we have already. Not that we don't have nice, but having something in addition to what we have. Because I would be supportive of the idea of a restaurant in Darien and considering a liquor license for them, but without the gaming license.
Well, that brings up another good point. Any kind of business like that, food, we would ask them to sign an agreement that they would not
Is that
apply for
possible?
a
Yeah,
liquor.
the issue is you'll get some places that contact Dan primarily, and there might be a sandwich shop. They're looking to get a liquor license, and they'll serve cold cuts or sandwiches. Really, their main, they're
It's
gaming.
the pretext. It's the
They're
pretext.
there for gaming.
Yeah.
So in talking with John Murphy, because the liquor license triggers the gaming. So if you have a restaurant, any kind of restaurant with the full liquor license, they would be allowed to have gaming by our code and by state law. So Attorney Murphy suggested that if there is a restaurant that comes in that the city council wants to consider, that there be some agreement with that business that they would not apply for a gaming license. So again, the one we have that Mayor Weaver just mentioned is really a cold cut and deli type sandwich. Right, Dan? I think there was nothing really more than that.
Well, that's how they approached it too, and we'd let them know that gaming was out of the question. Then they just went to the second step. Well, we're just gonna be a deli. Well, that's,
Right, in this particular case, while a lot of the restaurants in town require a special use, this is at the, adjacent to Home Run Inn, or the Blockbuster used to be. There's one unit left over there. And with that, originally it was called Lucky, I can't recall what it was, Lucky something. This time they changed the name and they wanted to proposing a deli shop in there. Well, obviously, again, as the mayor said, it's a pretext to what's coming. They'll open up the deli shop, then 2 months later, whatever, come back in for a liquor license or whatever the case is.
And in cases like this, they might ask to approach the city council. The staff just wants to make sure we're reflecting what the council wants and the council policy by telling them the council's not interested in any more establishments that have gaming. So we just, as Mayor mentioned, looking for some concurrence on that so we could talk to these businesses as they contact us.
Alderman MacGyver,
How many are there in Darien now?
2.
Well, no, I mean.
well, there's
how
a
Oh,
many
I'm sorry,
gaming-
Yeah.
the one that has strictly, the,
No, how many locations have gaming in Darien currently?
Oh,
I think
how
5 or
many-
6, I
Several.
believe.
Yeah.
At least 6.
yeah, well, we have the 2 facilities, Dottie's and
Standalone, right,
Stella's,
right.
Stella's, and then we got,
Joni's, Chuck's,
Q.
Q's,
La Note.
Lanote, up
Okay.
on,
I think Carriage
Stella's,
Greens has
Stella's.
approval, if I'm not
I already
mistaken.
counted those 2. What's that?
Carriage Greens, you counted?
I did not count Carriage Greens.
I'm not sure if they have the license, but I know they're eligible, and they had looked into that. I just don't recall if they actually have the license
Yeah,
yet.
I'm not sure if they have the license yet.
That would be 6 if we count Dottie and Stella's, too. I think there was a place up near the Walgreens at Lamont and Plainfield Road, too, wasn't there? Wasn't there a facility in there that wanted
Don't
gaming?
recall. We necessarily don't get, well, we can give, once we run a report from the state, we can find out. But if they apply for it, we wouldn't know immediately.
Well, how many establishments do we currently know that we get, there's revenue that is generated?
I believe 6,
6,
yes.
But more are eligible, they just haven't received it.
Applied for it.
Or
And
received
Stella's,
Gas
and
stations
our other
can
one
have
is-
it too, right?
If they have a
Gas
liquor
stations
license,
that sell liquor can also.
yeah,
that's
there's a
the trigger.
few addition to the liquor, the typical liquor license in terms of gas stations. But I think Stella's and the other standalone are really the largest,
Dottie's.
and Dottie's
Yeah.
are the largest
Yeah.
gaming generators.
yeah. So I would like to know if you all feel the same way I do about limiting this use.
A couple years ago, I was right with you with it, and especially with the one of the establishments came in and made it sound like it was a lot more of a restaurant, and then it wasn't gaming, and they gave us a beautiful brochure, and they pulled the wool over our eyes once we got into it. Now, going forward, watching what's going on with our upcoming budget, what's going on with what's going on in the state of Illinois, I'm not a big proponent of it, originally. But if I'm watching some of these other communities around, and there's revenue coming through, and there's not a lot of police action, and there's not a lot of negativity coming from these things, I wouldn't be so quick to discount it, especially in lieu of what's going on with this, future when we're looking for money for capital projects and whatnot.
Alderman Clistic?
How about home prices with regards to that? Does that affect any? Have we seen a decrease in home prices with these establishments coming in?
No, I don't think we have.
We
haven't- I-
haven't,
yeah, I
yeah,
haven't
we
seen
haven't
that.
researched that. Our initial concern was if there was any, crime related to the establishments, and there has not been.
And I believe we did. We had our police department under Chief Brown. I think he did a report for us that the communities that have seen, have these facilities have not seen an increase in crime.
I would say would want to make sure we put some kind of restrictions on the establishment to make them a higher class of a establishment, not like we talked about a gas station. I wouldn't want to see a gas station that had a liquor license have these machines in there, because that's not what I want to see. But if a nice class restaurant where the gaming section is away from the general public for the most part, I don't think I would have that much of an issue with it.
Oh, we forgot Zazos and Q.
Cazazos has that little
Q,
thing
yeah,
right out.
those two are two
Yeah,
places.
so,
You pulled it up, Paul?
Yeah, there's currently 8 establishments.
That's, yeah, that makes
okay,
sense, yeah.
but anyone that currently, any location that has a liquor license can potentially get a,
That's the way the state
right.
set
Not
it up.
packaged,
So,
but
while
poor
we
li-
have
poor
8,
liquor.
how many liquor licenses are in Darien?
Good question.
21, 22?
No, there's more than
Was
that.
that?
We have different classifications, so we'd have to check out how many are under each classification.
Right. So that opens up the potential for all those existing ones to expand, because I
As
know
an
I've been
example-
to gas stations that have them.
Bona Beef is an example. They are eligible to have one, and they do not have any
Right.
gaming. So there are more out there that could have it.
Right.
I'd like to get a little more feelers of some of the constituents of what they feel, because I probably haven't addressed this question recently, and I'd want to get their take on, now that it's actually in play, how do they feel about it, and I want to keep an open mind for that.
Dan, I believe this Lucky Bernie's wants to make a presentation to the city council. Where does that stand?
Correct. Basically, what we left it with is that we would get back to them this week sometime after tonight's input. So at this point, from what I'm hearing, if the city council would like, we can tell them to come to the next city council meeting and make the presentation if they so wish to. Again, with no action at that point, but it was strictly a presentation.
Well, I haven't heard from everybody here.
Well, from my perspective, I think that, when you go in these places, a lot of times nobody's even sitting there. Like, I've gone to Chuck's and, maybe 1 out of 5 times somebody's actually in that gaming area. I think it's more the optics of how they advertise, off the street. And, if it's in there, I don't know if that's so much of a problem as it is the way that it's represented as you're driving through a community, and it's like, these giant, signs that indicate, it cheapens, I think, the overall, way that a city comes across, I think, to somebody who's, going through it. So I don't know if there's any way to manage that part of it, kind of find a balance between those two things. Because, I like I said, I don't I've been in places that have it, and it doesn't so much bother me that they're in there. I think it's more the way that, it's attracting people, or the way they're trying to attract people to attend.
Well, we do have control with sign ordinances, and even if they
Right.
put banners over, I think I saw one at Chuck's where they put a banner over the fence. Somebody had a banner on there. Oh, Q.
Q.
Yeah,
that was
we have limitations on how long those banners can stay up.
Yes.
So, yeah. Other, Alderman Belzic?
Generally, I agree. I don't think we need any more. However, I don't think we should ever say never, and I'd keep an open mind always, but at this point, I don't think we need any more.
Okay. Alderman Shower?
Yeah, I agree with Alderman Belzak. We have Stella's and we have Dottie's, and those storefronts are nice. And I think when we're talking about this, we want to just keep those there. But if we do have a nice restaurant that wants to come to Darien, we got to be able to, have our options on the table for them.
Alderman Marquez?
I feel the same way.
Okay.
I object more to the advertising, the signs. As Alderman MacGyver said, I've been in Chuck's, I've been in some of these other establishments, and you really don't notice it that much. And I haven't really received any complaints from residents. Initially, I did, where people were, said that we've opened this up in our community, but of late, no, I haven't received anything negative from people with regard to it.
Okay, Alderman Clistic, I think you're the only one I haven't heard from.
Same with Mr. Belsack, so I agree as well.
Okay.
so.
So when, one of the challenges Dan and I have when somebody calls and says, hey, I have a restaurant, you know, Dan and I are defining, well, is a deli a restaurant? I don't think that's what the council's, you know, thinking when they say a nice restaurant coming in town, so, so Dan and I aren't making that decision. Should anybody who wants to come to the city maybe go to the committee, make a presentation to council? I don't know if you want to take up council time, if you want to go right to a committee, they can make their presentation, let the committee
I would have,
review those.
I'd recommend that you have any group like that go through the process that we would normally go through, and that is, you know, they do the initial work with the staff here, and then it comes to planning and zoning, and then it goes to municipal service. Have them go through the regular.
Well, it would really, yeah.
The one that's, has presented itself most recently, it is out and out a gaming establishment like Stella's and Dottie's. And as far as I'm concerned, that's an absolute no for that one. I can understand what you're suggesting. You know, a fine restaurant wants to come in. I can't even imagine why would they even think about doing it, but we could always consider that then.
Is there a way you can stipulate on gross receipts that they, because if you do, say 65% food, 35%?
Well, there's something in the state law, isn't there, Brian, that says X amount percent has to be food sales versus liquor sales?
I'd have to check the statute.
I think
I
when
don't
we
recall.
originally
I don't-
discussed,
yeah.
I don't think there's that stipulation, Joe, because if you look
The
even
liquor
locally, you know, some of the places in town that probably serve less food still have the gaming, so I don't know that there's that stipulation. I would have to check, though. I haven't looked at that state statute for a while.
Okay. Okay, thank you for all your input.
So,
We'll-
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Mayor, just so I'm clear, so if somebody comes in like this, the normal process would be, you know, first the liquor license, we would kind of give them an indication, because if they're not going to get a liquor license, there's no sense sending them to the Plan Commission or anywhere else. So I think what we've done also in the past is if somebody requests a liquor license, we'll send to a committee, and if the committee thinks the liquor license might be okay, then the petitioner might go to the Plan Commission for any kind of a use, so.
Okay.
I just want to be clear what we're doing with this.
In this,
I'm the liquor commissioner.
Correct.
Is it with the advice and consent of the council, or can I shoot it down automatically?
Well, the council creates the license, the liquor commissioner will issue the license. I would have to check with the attorney on the specifics of, you know, of how the liquor commissioner, you know, may not sign a license
Okay,
if the council approves one for a specific business.
okay.
So the council could certainly, or the committee could certainly recommend the addition of a license, but that I would have to check with John
Okay.
Murphy.
All right. I think in consideration that this Lucky Bernie's is strictly a gaming facility like Dottie's and Stella's, I would tell them not to bother. Does anybody have an issue with that?
and again, while that's the facts, they have the opportunity, if they so choose, to come in and open up the deli, in this case, strictly a deli with no liquor license, so just the council knows. And obviously, their positioning, we staff cannot disprove that, but again, we want to make sure that we, you know, we let the city council know what was going on in this
Okay.
particular
Yeah.
case. And this is a fairly new establishment.
If they
Well, at
open
least
a
they're
del-
using a boy's name this time. It's usually girls'
Yeah.
names that they use.
Correct.
Yeah, if they open a deli and there's no liquor, there's really no issues, and they would
Correct.
could get that business license. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, thank you. All right, let's move on to the mayor's report, and I would like to read a resolution here, in which I will be asking for your approval. This is a resolution recognizing Marion Kropika as our 2016 Citizen of the Year in the city of Darien. Whereas Marion Kropika has been a resident of Darien since 1977, and whereas Marion and Larry have been married for 46 years, and whereas Marion and Larry have 2 daughters, Carolyn and Elizabeth, and whereas Marion and Larry have 7 grandchildren, Grant, Jake, Jonathan, Kate, Andrew, Matthew, and Megan. Whereas Marion Kropika's milestones are not measured in days or months of support, but in multitude of years. Marion Kropika began her support for library service in the community of Darien early on by being part of a group from the Darien Women's Club who started and supported the Darien Volunteer Library. And in 1985, when the library became tax-supported entity, Marion became a library trustee and still continues that service to this day. And whereas Marion has served on the library board as president, vice president, secretary, and is presently serving as treasurer. and she has sat in the Finance, Nominating, Personnel, Building and Grounds, Policy, Planning and Annexation Committees. And Marion was part of the foundation board when the Indian Prairie Public Library Foundation was started in 1994 and continues to serve on this vital extension of the library. And whereas Marion Kopeka was awarded the Trustee of the Year in 2008 by the Metropolitan Library System for her outstanding achievement. And whereas Marion Kopeka has become a landmark in the creation and continued growth of the Indian Prairie Public Library for over 35 years and is regarded by her library colleagues as a true friend and mentor of the library. And whereas Marion Kopeka signed her first teaching contract with School District 61 in 1970 as a reading teacher, excuse me. Did I get ahead of myself here?
You're fine.
Okay, there I am. As a reading teacher at Eisenhower Junior High, and whereas Marion Kopeka has touched many lives, not only teaching reading, but through many activities formulating children's minds, and whereas Marion was on the planning committee for numerous years for the cultural fair, an integral part of the district's reading committee, and chaperoned many of the Washington, D.C. annual trips for the 8th grade students. And whereas Marion Kopeka was very attentive to children with special needs and believed in the philosophy that not one size fits all types of teachers. And whereas Marion Kopeka developed strong relationships with the school's population and reached out to her fellow teaching colleagues as a friend and resource. And she was referred to by teachers as Mother Marion because of her many mentoring ways and her uplifting spirit. And Marion Kopeka retired from the district in 2009, and Marion has been a strong contributor to the Darien Women's Club for many years, where she has served and held a variety of officers such as recording secretary and vice president, and is currently serving as home life chairman. And Marion puts her efforts toward the store at Burgess Nursing Home, bake sales, and the Safety Village. And whereas Marion Kopeka has been instrumental in coordinating gifts, working with the Lions Club and the Park District to provide for needy families at Christmas. And whereas Marion was a judge in the 2015 for the VFW District 19 Voice of Memory Democracy High School Students Audio Essay Scholarship Competition. And whereas Marion and Larry have both been active at Our Lady of Peace Church as sacristans, ensuring that all the elements are ready for the celebration of Mass. And whereas Marion Kopeka supports the church's fellowship as a member of the social committee by helping provide a dinner twice a year, including shopping for food, preparing the food with others, and serving as well. And whereas Marion currently satisfies the guidelines for the selection of the Citizen of the Year for her diversity of activities, length of service, degree of involvement in the community, and impact to the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Darien, DuPage County, that Marion Kopeka be hereby designated the 2016 Citizen of the Year for the City of Darien in recognition of her many years of dedicated service to the City of Darien and its residents. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Marquez, second by Alderman Belzak. The roll, please.
Marquez,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Clistic,
Aye.
Belkey,
Aye.
McIver,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Mayor Weaver,
Aye.
Clerk Regona, aye. Treasurer Corn,
Aye.
Attorney Murphy,
Aye.
Administrator Vanna,
Yes.
unanimous, 12-0.
Well, how about that? Come forward and receive our plaque and the resolution for your service.
Which you then have to get back to.
I tell you, congratulations. Well, thank you very much. These are for you. Would you like to say a few words? Okay, 1 minute. Well, you can take this with you. And this is the resolution that I just read in your honor. And thank you. I just knocked off the.
I timed this as 1 minute, so I know you're very busy. But I would like to thank everyone and for coming out, especially tonight. And Darien has no shortage of active organizations, all providing a wide variety of opportunities to serve and become involved, which is why there are so many more people who really should be here with me. And I would like to thank, though, the great staff and board at the Indian Prairie Public Library. I know many residents have followed its history, from the bus to the storefronts to the building, and Darien's watched it grow. And thank you to the Darien Women's Club, a service organization with really hardworking members and many opportunities to volunteer. And I want to put in a plug for the art show this Sunday afternoon. It's a wonderful activity. See all the youth's artwork Sunday at Cass School. And I am the 5th Darien Women's Club member to receive this award.
Wow,
So,
that's cool.
Kathy.
That's cool.
Thank you. And thank you to Our Lady of Peace Church, which reaches out to serve our community in many ways. And I always appreciate my family's advice and encouragement and missing me in the evenings. And I feel very fortunate to have worked with the wonderful staff, administration, and many, many, many students at Eisenhower Junior High in District 61. Actually, teaching for 35 years was not exceptional in District 61. And finally, thanks to Jamie Bokovac, who submitted the nomination, the nominating committee, and the City Council and Mayor Weaver for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you. There will be a cake and coffee in the lobby at the end of our meeting here. And I'm going to turn to Alderman Belke, who is the liaison for the Citizen of the Year Committee, to describe all the details that are coming up about the dinner dance.
Sure, thank you. Tickets are still available for this event, which is being held on Saturday, March 5th at Alpine Banquets. That will be at 6 o'clock cocktails, 7 o'clock dinner. It's $30, which includes all that and dancing. Choice of 2 entries and open bar before and after dinner, and music and dancing until 11 o'clock. You can get your tickets at City Hall.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move on to item B under the police, under the mayor's report. It's the appointment of, let's see, let me get to that item here. Under the, I think you all received Greg's resume. It was attached, and I would like to have a motion to approve the appointment of Greg Thomas as our police chief. Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderman Schauer. Any discussion? Then the roll, please.
Kenny?
Aye.
Shower?
Aye.
McIver?
Aye.
Belkey?
Aye.
Marquez?
Aye.
Belzak?
Aye.
Clistic?
Aye.
7 ayes, I'm sorry, unanimous.
The motion has been approved. I believe there's someone that wants to take I think you better come forward. Someone wants to take a picture of you. I think Lieutenant Renke has a camera. Is someone going to be pinning something on him, or?
We have a swear.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to come forward to be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Greg Thomas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
of police chief
of police chief
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have to sign that card? Okay, good. Good. 2 days, right? Okay. Yeah, you.
Long weekend.
You really wanted to do it again, huh? Chief Cooper, did you want to say a few words? Oh, wait a minute, okay, what did I say?
Cooper.
No, I was pointing at Deputy Chief Cooper. Did you want to take more pictures?
Well, I just take them as we go.
Oh, okay. All righty. Why don't you say a few words? I'm going to have you come back up again. Well, maybe we can do it right now after you say a few words about your appointment. And then I asked you to address the 2 burglaries that we had in Darien.
Sure. Well, thank you to Mayor Weaver and the aldermen for your faith in me. I'll do my best job, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with myself or with the Darien Police Department. It's an awesome police department. A lot of people. My wife Julie's here, my son Todd, and we have an exchange student. Our daughter Yumin Lee from South Korea came up to wish me luck. Made it again. It worked out. I had a lot of friends from Aurora. The Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zeman just got appointed a month or so ago. And Deputy Chief Jackson, I saw Commander Keith Cross. I'm not sure who else made it up, but I appreciate the support from Aurora making the trip. My family has always been very supportive. Been busy doing a lot of different things, a lot of different meetings, fundraisers, and all kinds of things. And they've been champion of in my corner forever, and I appreciate that big time. And need a little bit more support for a couple more years anyway, so it'll work out well. I had a unique experience because I got to test drive the police department. I had was asked to come in as an interim chief in 2 to 6 months, and it was working out very well. It's a great police department, a lot of dedicated officers. A number of them showed up tonight, and I appreciate that. I think that you're going to see a lot of great things come out of Darien Police Department to continue that process moving forward, because they're that good. Got to see them for a long time. So when I got asked to stay on permanently, it was an easy choice to make. So I appreciate that vote of confidence from the rank and file of the police department, and men and women are really tremendous. So I appreciate that. So that's my story, and we'll do good for you, for Darien Police Department.
Thank you. You know what? Yeah, yes. I asked him to do that too.
I just need the address here. I don't want these Aurora guys laughing at me either.
Yeah, I found out from Greg, and when we have had numerous conversations, that he didn't have to appear at city council meetings. So you guys are from Aurora. This has got to be special to see him up here at a city council meeting.
I'm on TV too, man. Last it happened on February 9th. We had 2 residential burglaries, and they were pretty close back to back, within short distance within each other. One occurred in the 6700 block of Clarendon Hills Road between 7:30 in the morning and 1:20 in the afternoon. No one was home, but forced entry was made. Cell phone, jewelry, and electronics were removed from the house. The second burglary occurred in the 300 block of Janet between 7:30 and 7:45 at night. Again, no one was home. Again, a door was forced open, and a watch and money was taken from the house. So, it's disturbing to be in a neighborhood and have 2 residential burglaries. People like to be safe in their persons and their effects and their homes, and to have this type of thing happen. So we make sure that where we can to prevent those types of things, that we do, that the public knows to lock their doors, turn on lights, make your home protected. Residents are encouraged to dial 911 right away when you see anything suspicious, including people and vehicles. We'll check those things out. Talk to your neighbors, pass on information about what's going on in the neighborhood, any suspicions. Again, lock the doors and windows before leaving for the night, and making sure the lights are turned on. It's been a few weeks since the burglary occurred, and we don't have any real good leads. We did have a partial print on one of the houses, one of the residences. So we'll do what we can with that partial print to try to identify the burglar.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Alderman MacGyver?
Question, was it a regular door or a patio door, or can you say?
It was a rear door. I don't know.
Just yeah, like
right.
not a sliding door.
It could be. It was a rear, listed in the report as a rear door, so I'm not sure which.
Alderman Clistic?
In general, do we increase police presence in that area since it's been really close to where those two burglaries happened since then, or how does that? Just in general?
The officers understand what's going on in their districts and in their shifts, and so they'll give a little bit extra patrol to that area as well. Yep.
You are very familiar with modus operandi. What typically happens in a situation where this was in Ward 2, I believe? Both of these were in Ward 2. What typically happens? Do they go back to the same area again, or do they tend to go off to a wholly different area of the city?
No, they'll tend to work an area. But again, a lot of times it's an opportunity. So a lot of people aren't mobile, so they stay in a similar geographic region when they do that work.
Yeah. We had, when we had our last rash of burglaries, residents would say, "Jeepers, I saw somebody, but I never thought to call the police department." And we always keep encouraging people, if you see anything out of the ordinary, don't even think twice about whether it's a crazy thought or whether you think it's nothing. Make the phone call.
You know, wherever you go, it's the same. And we would, in the morning, we call them shift commander pass along. So we'd get the shift commander pass along and see what happened in the prior 24 hours. And there would be a burglary listed, and then the officers would do their canvas, and they would find a neighbor quite frequently that would have saw something that had they called, different result would have happened. Yeah. And same thing here.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the Treasury's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening, I'm requesting Council's approval of warrant number 151619 in the amount of $479,439.88 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended February 4th in the amount of $458,781.43, which includes the retro pay adjustment for the new police contract, for a total to be approved of $938,221.31.
Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Belzak, seconded by Alderman Belke. The roll. Any questions for the treasurer? Then the roll, please.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belke.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
MacIver.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The motion has been approved. Do you want to go over the monthly report?
The monthly report for the 9 months ended January 31st, general fund year-to-date revenue of $11,594,397, which includes the transfer during the current month of $507,236 from the bottom fund of the capital projects debt service fund. Expenditures of $8,240,353 for a current fund balance of $3,971,186. Water fund year-to-date revenue $4,504,592. Expenditures of $4,967,129 for a deficit balance of $428,518. Motor fuel tax fund year-to-date revenue $428,656. Expenditures of $393,067 for a current balance of $317,677. Water depreciation fund year-to-date revenue $349,959. Expenditures of $126,478 for a current balance of $98,149. Capital improvement fund year-to-date revenue $2,359,503. Expenditures of $3,372,443 for a current balance of $4,674,517. And again, the capital projects debt service fund year-to-date revenue $507,236, which with a like kind of expenditure, which was the transfer to the general fund for a current fund balance of $0.
Okay. Any questions for the treasurer on that report? Then let's move on to standing committee reports. Alderman Marquez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As mentioned earlier in the work session, the Municipal Service Committee meeting, which was scheduled for next Monday the 22nd, has been rescheduled for March 7th at 6:30 in the council chambers.
Thank you. Any other reports? Alderman Shower?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our first committee of the whole budget meeting is tomorrow night, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. in council chambers, with subsequent meetings on Tuesday, February 23rd, Monday, February 29th, Tuesday, March 8th, and Tuesday, March 15th, if necessary. Our next admin finance meeting will be at 6 p.m. on Monday, March 7th, in our upstairs meeting room, pending agenda items.
Thank you. Any report, Alderman McIver?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Today's police committee was canceled due to lack of agenda items. So the next meeting would be Monday, March 21st at 6 p.m. in the police department training room across the parking lot.
Thank you.
Pending agenda items.
Thank you. Let's move on to questions and comments of an agenda related. Does anyone in the audience want to address any questions to the council on the item that's on the agenda this evening? I didn't ask the alderman. I think we talked about anything on, so there's no need for anyone to comments. Okay. Let's move to old business, and there being no old business, I'll move. Well, and then there's no consent agenda either, so I'll move right to new business, and that's item A, consideration of a motion to grant a waiver of the raffle license bond for the Darien Rotary Club. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman McIver. Any discussion? The roll, please.
Shower.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Marquez.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
Clistic.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Belkey.
Aye.
7 ayes.
The motion has been approved. And is there any other questions or announcements from the alderman? Alderman Marquez?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to commend the Citizen of the Year Committee for their excellent choice of Marion Krupika. Kathy and I have known Marion for a number of years, and she is truly an outstanding individual within our community. Every time you walk into the Indian Prairie Library, you should give thanks for people like her, and I'm just very happy with the committee's choice, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to celebrate that, Marion.
Okay. Any other comments? Then I'd like a motion to adjourn. Alderman McIver, seconded by Alderman Belkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Cake and coffee in the lobby, everyone.
Turning the microphones off.
Shut it down.